Good evening, welcome to the NOMEX Racing Weekend League. We're here live from Baku, Azerbaijan, where we have no special event this week, but we've got some special events coming up in the next couple. Evening, Gorilla. I'll have to remember your name's actually Todd then. I'll call you Gorilla on the stream. Yeah, so big one tonight. Azerbaijan, difficult track. Lots of overtaking opportunities, but yeah, very tough, especially in qualifying. It's such a long lap. You've got to put everything together, all in one lap. You make one mistake and that could mess your qualifying up. As you see, everybody just getting in now. Just check how many we have tonight. Can't see Tim yet. I'm sure he'll be in. He doesn't miss a race, does he? Attendance. There we go. Yeah, he's in. He should be in. So according to this, we should have 18 because Pastuzo's he declined, and he's here. So yeah, we should have 18 racers tonight, which will be good. Quick look at the current drivers and constructors standings. Tim, the pre-season favourite, of course, DNF in Holland, in the Netherlands, at Zandvoort, is in 4th position in the championship. It's his teammate in the Red Bull, King Panda, who is currently leading it. There's not a lot in it. There's only 15 points between the top 5 drivers, so just goes to show. But yeah, we've got King Panda, we've got Paddy in 2nd, Gagley 3rd, Tim 4th, Lewis 5th. So 2 Red Bulls and 2 Aston Martins really near the top of the championship. As I said, pre-season, we expect that to be a really good close battle between those guys. That's for sure. Then, of course, we've got Fishy Flopper in the Haas, Josh in the McLaren, Matty in the others. He's in the others category because he doesn't have an actual permanent seat, but he did put it on the podium last week, so it's good to see on debut for this season. David is 9th position, and then we've got Ice One in 10th. Still got quite a few that have yet to score points. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And as we go to the constructor standings, 2 teams are pulling away, and that would be the Red Bulls and the Aston Martins. There's currently a 63-point gap between the Aston Martins in 2nd and the RBs in 3rd. The Red Bulls on 147, Aston's on 133. Only the Saubers have not scored points, which is surprising. They've got some good drivers. And yeah, from 3rd down, there's nothing in it. Of course, we're only in the 4th race of the season. It's a 12-race season, so loads of time to go yet. A lot of things can happen between now and the end of the season. But we'll keep an eye out on the title, of course. Just keep having a look, see who's in front, see who's making moves. So currently 16 in the lobby. Gagli and Bombardier 55 there. And Ferrari both getting impatient, want to go. I don't blame them. I think the thing with Azerbaijan, I think some people love it, some people hate it. It's not one of those tracks where you're just like, oh, Azerbaijan and do it. You either love it or you hate it. So we'll see what happens and who can get pole tonight. Obviously, I think even though he sat fourth in the championship, that's because of last week and that unfortunate, very unfortunate non-finish, shall we call it, for Tim. But I still think he's probably the favourite here, both in quali and the race. But we'll see. Well, let's get to that time now. Any moment now we should be going into qualifying, which obviously is great for us viewing, and I can't wait to get started. Possibility of rain at Azerbaijan for sure. I wouldn't say it's a high percentage chance, but there is a chance. It's not Bahrain or Saudi Arabia, for example, but equally it's not Belgium, where it always seems to rain. So we'll see the weather conditions when we go into qualifying. I think it's more likely to be dry than it is wet, but we'll have to check that out when we can. We're just waiting for one or two more now, and we will be ready to go. As I mentioned, been looking forward to this race all week, especially after last week. Last week's great race in Zandvoort. You can see that on the channel, by the way, and we'll see how last week's race has affected some of the drivers mentally. You'd think somebody like Tim would be very strong mentally, able to reset and not feel the pressure of dropping down positions, but it's obviously it's early in the season as well. We're only on race 4 of 12, so I think Tim, there's a reason why he's got 4 trophies next to his name in the Discord. So I don't think he'll be mentally worried, affected, or he won't be worried about it. But it'll be interesting to see. It might play a factor. Of course, anyone that's a fan of the Formula One in real life, we've had a little break for the last few weeks. I'm ready to go again in real life with the Formula One, of course. Being a big Lando Norris fan, I want to see my boy win the title, which I don't think he will this season. I don't know. Apparently Red Bull got some upgrades as well, so we'll have to see what happens there. And here we go, 17 in. We're ready to start qualifying. I'm just going to drop that in that drawer there. Look. Right, here we go then. Azerbaijan is quite a tricky track. You can't put too much downforce on because of the long straight. But then it's very technical as well. Is the main man? Is King Panda? Is in the house, our championship leader. You see, I was just mentioning before that that this track, I think you either love it or you hate it, don't you? Azerbaijan. Clearly, you've just stated there you love it. But for me, I sometimes love the track and I sometimes hate it. I just go like from one extreme to the other really at Azerbaijan. But I don't think anybody's like, oh yeah, Azerbaijan, whatever. Everyone's got a strong opinion on it. There we go. We are ready. We're going to get into qualifying. Looking dry at the moment, which is good. Get the old track map on, and we're good to go. So everybody just sorting their setups out, ready for qualifying, and obviously, depending on the weather during the race, we will have to we'll have to see. But if it's forecast rain, then you'll have to put in the race. Then you have to put obviously a setup on that's going to make a difference in the race, rather than just go all out in quali and lose out. So Fishy Flopper is out, Lewis is out, Bombardier is out, but we're on with Pastuzo in the Sauber. As you can see, very, very tight technical track, obviously a street circuit as well, so no room for error, no runoff. I think the only place there's really a runoff is into the downhill left-hander toward the end of sector 3. Is we're going through Castle. We can talk more about Castle soon. Reese is straight out of qualifying. That's very unfortunate. You can see double left-hander here. This is the first one, and this is the only place where there's a bit of runoff. When you come round here, as you can see, just to the right. It's not a lot either, so you know, if you brake too late, you're probably still going into a wall. It's the long straight. The RS not enabled until quite far down here. It's about here. And we'll be following Pastuzo's lap. He's going to be the first one to start a fast lap. So quite a few 90-degree corners, especially in sector 1 here. You see two left-handers, both 90 degrees. Small DRS straight here. It is long enough though that if you get a good exit you could make a pass into the 90-degree left-hander, into another 90-degree right-hander. This one's very awkward. And that's sector 1 just about done here. So 36.4 for sector 1. And we've got the nice little chicane. Long straight into a tight right-hander. Up through the Castle. Oh, and there's a touch. There we go. That cost you valuable time. Decent exit. Another fast section here. Yeah, the Castle section there, it's a chicane uphill. It's one of the tightest corners on the circuit. Not on the circuit. It certainly is on the circuit. I mean, on the calendar. And yeah, you get it wrong, and it can be all over. Pastuzo did alright there, in as much as it wasn't really that costly of an error, but you just have to hit that at the wrong angle and you've got no wheel either on your front left or your front right, and it's over for you. So DRS back to the start finish line, and that will be a 142.6. Lewis with a 139.8. Let's Bombardier 142.1. I'm looking for, there it is, King Panda, our championship leader at the minute in the Red Bull, of course leading both the drivers and constructors championship right now. Caution in sector 1. think that's just somebody moving to one side. So 140.2, good enough for second as it stands. So not a bad lap. Gagley with a 138.9. Gagley is looking this year, or this season, to make it his season and win that World Championship. And I personally, I think and that's a 5-place penalty for Fishy Flopper there for an incident in qualifying. That is not good, not at all. But yeah, back to Gagley. I do think that he could be the one this year. Paddy last year took him right down to the wire, did a fantastic job, and he'll always be in contention, of course, as will others. But as you see, Paddy just puts in a 139.4. Quite a big disparity in times because it's a long track. It's like Belgium in that respect. And yeah, I think Gagley can do it this season. I'm not saying he's my favourite to win it or Tim's my favourite, but yeah, I've just he's got the pace, hasn't he? So we've got Josh Gaming in 4th with a 140. Oh, that's a big slap of the wall there from Tim. That's going to affect his time greatly. Using a little ERS, you need to save as much as you can, of course, for the start-finish straight. As soon as you get round the, I guess it's technically a chicane here. It's quite fast and sweeping. Right now, get on the, there as you can see, look, he's on the ERS. Need as much speed as possible here, and it's going to be, that's a 38.8. That's good enough for pole position provisionally, and he definitely lost a fair amount of time there with him hitting that wall really hard. That's a very impressive lap from Tim. Next up we have Broke Gorilla here. Fantastic name. One of my favourite names, to be honest. Matty, off the back of a good week last week, scoring a podium in Zandvoort, is in 7th position at the minute with a 140.3. She's flopping out, coming out for another run on an out lap. Even if you could put it on pole position, that's going to be still going to be 5 places that he loses. It's just very unfortunate, really. You didn't see what happened. Paddy has put in a 138.5 there. That is a huge time. Paddy putting a marker down. We were on with Broke Gorilla, of course, put his initial lap in, and Paddy's absolutely smashed that. Let's see where yeah, Fishy Flopper's about to start his fast lap in the very hairdryer sounding Haas. You can also get some views of the track if you like here in qualifying. Obviously we'd like to use the TV perspective a lot during the race, but rather than qualifying, but we can get a little bit while we're watching Fishy go round. Has to be a good time, this. Only 5 gone under 140 so far as well, so I'm sure that's going to change. Surely, like Josh Matty as well. They're both very close to breaking that 140, and then there's a bit of a gap to Ice One in 8th. There you could see a great angle of how tight that corner is. It's unreal, really. And because it's kind of a blind left-hander to start with, and uphill, and you've got to get the exit right to maximise the rest of the lap. It's such a it's definitely one of the toughest corners on the calendar. And that's a purple sector 2 from Fishy Flopper there. At least allegedly, according to the telemetry. This could be a good lap. Not getting a toe. Let's see what this is. It's a 140.6, so that's up into 8th, but obviously going to lose 5 places. Just due to that incident earlier on. As I mentioned in qualifying, we tend to just stick with one person as they're doing their lap, so we didn't see what happened, whether it's a harsh one or what, but yeah, contact during qualifying isn't never good. Oh, whoa, Ice One there, he's gone as close as you can get to the wall without touching it. He's probably struggled to fit a cigarette paper in between his right front tyre and the wall there. But that's good, that's what you want. You want to get as close to the wall as possible. Broke Gorilla is done. And he was just saying this is one of his favourite tracks. That might be a connection issue. If so, that's very unfortunate. And King Panda, he said it's one of his favourites as well. He's doing alright. Let's see what Ice One can do then. Let's see if he improves. Yeah, that's a big improvement. A 140.3. Which doesn't surprise me. You know, people will play it safe on their first run, get a lap in, and then go for oh look at Ace has gone into the wall there. Just taking too much of the curve, and while obviously I don't wish that on anyone, especially that Ace is the boss man. It does show what can happen here. So Lewis in the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin's doing really well this season so far, as far as the constructors goes. Currently sitting second position, just behind the Red Bulls. When the teams were drawn, I did have a feeling that it was going to be between the Red Bulls and the Aston Martins. I thought the Aston Martins had a really good team, but obviously the Red Bulls, you see, they've got their team's immense. But because it's only race 4 of 12, there's still a long way to go. So Lewis using a bit of ERS there on the outlap to get maximum speed down that long straight as he goes over the start finish line. But caution in sector 2, so it's gone now, so that's all good. Again, you've got to be really confident going into these corners. But even though you have to be confident, you also have to obviously be quite careful about it as well. You don't want to even the slightest touch on one wall can send you into another one, and it's game over really. I think the Mercedes is on a flying lap here as well, so not really a lot Lewis can do. I think if that's Immortal in front of him, let's just check. Yeah, that's Immortal just in front. That's unfortunate for Lewis because it slowed him down, but there's not really a lot you can do about it. You can't like shunt him out of the way or complain. The guy's on a fast lap, he's concentrating on his own time. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. He's got time for another one if he comes in. Abandon the lap, come in, you've got time. Obviously, it's a long out lap, so you can't leave it very late. You need a couple of minutes at least, maybe more, to get round. In terms of coming out of the pits, I mean. So Josh has backed out here. So we've gone to Paddy, who's on his fast lap. He's slightly up on his time. He's got about a 2.5 tenths worth of advantage, and that's just on the wall there. Is that the meta? Ooh, look at how close. I mean, you might as well go as close as possible now. He's not going to have time to get in and out again, so all or nothing for Paddy right now. Well, I say nothing. He is sat provisionally on pole. Slightly down, 1.5 on his time. So this could be. Oh, and that is very naughty there. Disqualified for sat in a dangerous position. Might have actually just moved to one side and tried to give someone room. But if he's stationary, it's tough. It's really tough. You're going to get punished. Shadow is happy with his time, or does not feel like he can keep going there. Yeah, I saw that. We were actually on board with you at the time, and as soon as your lap went in, Paddy's went in. He got all down the basically from the left-hander at the bottom of the hill. He got a toe all the way. It gave him a massive boost. But right place at the right time, to be fair. That's enough for Josh. It's Gagley we're looking at now. Fishy Flop up to 5th. We'll be down to 10th though. Obviously going to be serving a 5-place grid penalty for what happened here in qualifying. Only 3 so far gone sub 138, so sub 139. Apologies. So that's something to keep an eye out if anyone else can do that. It's going to take a big lap. Oh, and a slight touch from Gagley. I think probably lost a bit of time there. Oh, look at that, Matty up into 5th position. The laps are coming thick and fast here. I was going to stick with Gagley and we'll drop to Tim. Oh, 4 tenths up Gagley. This could be a big one. Good sector 3 here, and this could be a pole sitting lap. Giving it absolutely everything. His ERS has just about gone. Not enough. Not quite enough. Wow, seems. Tim's 2 tenths down at the moment. So it looks like he's about... Oh, no, now he's a 10th up. That's the telemetry messing with my head as usual. So Matty and Flopper have done. I think it's the King Panda that's the next one we'll look at. Is Tim going to be able to do it? Is he going to put it on pole position? Provisionally, yes. He certainly has. With a 138.4, that is a very fast lap. Ice One's put in a 139.7. Again, another really good lap. Here comes King Panda. Ooh, sector 3 now. He's put in a really good lap there. That's a 139.4. Good enough for 4th position. So another good lap. Oh, Lewis has just jumped up to 4th actually. And I think only Bombardier's yet to go. Let's see, it's not the greatest lap, look. So, pole position is going to go to Tim with a phenomenal lap at the end there. But we've got 3 drivers that have gone under 139. They do look to be a cut above the rest right now. Although Azerbaijan in a race, a lot of things can happen. We'll take a look at the qualifying standings. So we've got Tim and Paddy on the front row with an all Aston Martin second row as well. I mean, that's really good for them, especially if they can work together, which they do very well as a team, to be fair. They're very good with that. And we've got King Panda in 5th in the other Red Bull. I was going to say the second Red Bull just because he's 5th, but he's actually right now the first Red Bull because he's leading the championship. That's followed by Josh in the McLaren, then Matty and Ice One. Fishy Flopper in 9th, but he will lose 5 positions. So the next 5 will move up 1. Then we've got Shadow, Bombardier, Ace, Broke Gorilla, Immortal, Reese not putting a lap in, Govin not putting a lap in, and Pastuzo disqualified from the session, of course. And it's going to be a dry race, by the looks of things. The weather would have to turn very quickly for it not to be a dry race right now. For the entirety of the race, that is. Everyone is just sorting their fuel loads out, picking their strategy. Azerbaijan, I can say this about Azerbaijan actually. You would imagine that probably the tyre wear would be quite high here. It's not. You can actually do a full 50% race on one set of hard tyres. Obviously, you would be disqualified for not making a pit stop, but the tyre wear is not really that bad. So that's going to be a factor in what strategy people pick. You might even see some soft runners from the start. I think there's a possibility. I think soft medium is a possibility as a strategy, or medium soft. Depends what you think you can get out of it. So we're underway with the formation lap, and we'll get the details. We'll get the tyres on. So we've got Paddy on the hard tyres, so I expect him to be dropping back, but he will, of course, try and use the overcut to his advantage. And 16 other drivers, all on mediums. So very interesting. Not much of a difference in the tyres then. Everybody thinking the same thing. And Pastuzo's been disqualified again, this time. Fortunately for him, he just goes back to the grid. If you hit a wall or whatever in your formation, obviously in real life you hit a wall and you lose your wing, then you've got problems. But if you do it, obviously, this is not real life, unfortunately. The car just teleports back to the grid. So there's your possible race strategies. I don't see it, to be honest. That's not. I see the medium hards. Yeah. I don't see a two-stopper. Not an intentional two-stopper. Now you might see one if there's a safety car. You might see people doing two stops, but no, I don't see. People aren't purposefully putting a two-stop strategy on. You see a Ferrari at a wall there. So tyres are being warm, and you don't really sat on the grid for too long. I'm going to start with cold tyres, and that's not ideal. You can see you've got Tim there doing the quick left to right. So you've got Gagley, and also Paddy as well. They're doing the long sweeping turns to warm their tyres up. There are various ways of doing it. You do it the old Kimi Räikkönen way and just blasting as fast a lap as possible. I don't need to start swerving or anything. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Everybody fairly close as well within the 10 car lengths. So that was a good formation lap. Bombardier and Immortal and Broke Gorilla there as well, all suffering, going over their allotted starting position. And we're underway at Baku. We have to stay with King Panda for a minute. Gagley goes straight up into second. Lots of position changes, but everybody through quite nicely. As Paddy now down to fourth, losing out. Oh, and that's, oh, no. That's King Panda in a wall. And Paddy as well. Side by side there. Paddy's going to have massive damage. Yeah, look at that. And unfortunately for our championship leader, the race is over through one corner. We have a virtual safety car. Unreal stuff. I mean, Azerbaijan, Baku, it's so tight, you know, it's very, very difficult. But you do have to be aware of your surroundings. We saw there massive coming together between the two, and that's really unfortunate. Quite it's quite an unfortunate incident. Bombardier is in the wall and is out. Oh, that's Govey out of the session. So the front two here are just looking to try and pull away. They have broke DRS. We get a different camera angle, please. Thank you. So 2 out on lap 1. Again, another VSC. He's DNF'd in the castle section. That'd be a red flag in real life. There's no chance. Well, I mean, I guess anywhere on this track's a red flag. It's very difficult to get the car away safely. So lap 2 then, and DRS will be enabled. Expect Paddy to be coming into the pits here. And people trying to warm their tyres. I'm sure we'll get back up to racing speed any minute now. The good thing with it for Paddy, with it being a virtual safety car, he's going to lose positions, obviously, as Fishy Flopper comes in to the pits. And that speed under the VSC for Shadow, that's naughty. It's a rookie mistake, really. Be careful with that. With that, I'd rather be like half a second in the green than risk it. You get what I mean? You see, though, there's this battle for first still very close, and the battle for third place between Lewis and Josh Gaming is really, really close. Gagley will have DRS here. Tim's putting the fastest lap of the race. Yeah, not quite close enough there, Gagley. going to have to be a little bit closer. Reese goes up into 6th position, by the way, Reese. Trying to get a word from King Panda here. Caution in sector 3, and that's Paddy with a DNF. No safety car. I think he retired in the pits. Quickly go into the pause menu. Apologies for this. I wouldn't normally do this, but we're just having a look at something. There we go. And it is for the benefit of the stream. You'll see in a sec. There we go. Back on board with Tim. I think we're going to see a safety car or two here tonight, Gallo. As Gagley goes through into first, Tim trying to defend on the inside, and that's well defended there. Gagley will have the inside on into turn 2. No, not quite able to make it stick. And yeah, difficult one this race. It's going to be close. Here's the main man himself. How are you doing here, Panda?
I'm alright, you?
Yeah, I'm good. I thought it'd get you in. Nice to have a different voice. I think people are sick of hearing me.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, really, the incident. So.
Well, I was going to ask, what from your point of view, what did you? Was it just a racing incident more than anything? I know everything was really tight at the front there.
I almost got into the back of one of the cars, avoided it, and then Paddy just lost traction. So, and then hit me, and then it put me in the wall, and that's why I did it. To be honest. No, nothing I did, but he's lost a little bit of traction, come left, and destroyed me. So
Paddy on the he was the only one on hard tyres as well, so he obviously his tyres were going to take longer to warm up, and he's not going to have the traction and stuff. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. And it's more unfortunate because you're leading the championship right now.
Yeah, I can't call me championship leader after today.
No, but while this race is still going on, you're still championship leader. No points have been handed out yet. I mean, you got to make the most of it for the next 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Big yourself
up. Yeah, no, that is true. I mean, they still have to finish as well. So
yeah, I mean,
it does.
You've seen last week, for example, Tim got no
you look at last week, didn't finish. So,
yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Anything is possible. That's how I look at it. Anything's possible in racing. So.
Are you still in the race?
Yeah, I haven't left. I can still see what's going on. So.
Okay. Cool.
We have got a drive-through for Pat Suzo.
Yeah.
So, for speeding under the fee, I see.
I was just talking about that. So you've got the you're either in the red or the green, aren't you? I'd rather be half a second in the green just to make sure under a virtual safety car that I'm not speeding.
Yeah, you should really be making sure. I'd rather even take a second and lose a second than get a drive-through.
Yeah, because the drive-through is going to cost you 20, 25.
For 20, 25, depending on the track, 30, depending on if it's Britain. So
yeah, I mean, Great Britain. That's an awful one to get a drive-through on. I mean, a pit stop there, I think,
because it's the longest pit lane.
Yeah, it's and the thing about Britain when you enter the speed limit is low as well, so it's a really long pit stop.
Yeah. Whereas this track, it's quite a short pit lane, so
Yeah,
you
this
lose
one's
about
not
20,
so bad.
25 seconds.
I see Gagley looking to make a pass here. Looking on the inside. Has gone through. Will he be able to hold it this time? I think he will. I think he's good this time. So it's up to Tim now
Um,
to work his way back to first.
and Matty is going side by side into turn one with
Oh,
Josh, and there's a little bit
yeah.
of contact. Josh into the wall, it looks like. Lost his
Matty,
right end plate.
yeah, I think that
But
is that damage?
it is for Josh.
Yeah,
It's his right end plate gone.
yeah. I'll tell you what, I've been impressed with Matty. He got a podium last week on debut, and
Yeah.
he's looking decent. He's looking
He's
decent
got some
this
good
week.
pace.
Yeah.
And some good battles with him last week also. He's one to keep an eye on. As well as anyone in this field. Even Ace isn't last in this field. He is up to 12th, so I mean that's a good job for Ace as well. So we've got to look at
I
everyone
think
in the field. So
I
go
actually think
on.
Ace would be. I think he's a good driver. I think he lacks consistency, maybe concentration. I don't know, but
I think it's consistency. To be fair, he's not the quickest, but it's his consistency which lets him down. Like there, he goes off into the turn two. He's gone off at turn two and had a little spin on the curb, so that will not be helping his race. But he's still
it,
in the race. That's the main thing. So he's
yeah,
still going to be picking up points.
especially here at Baku, it's a bit like Monaco. Just if you can stay in the race and everyone else makes those mistakes, you're going to pick up good points. As we see, Tim has
Yeah.
gone through and he's retaken first position here. That's a nice move. It's the obvious move, isn't it? Turn one at Baku. It's
With Straight, it definitely is the place to take the move. They have moved the DRS, so it's been moved down 100 yards down the
yeah.
straight, so you get less benefit of the DRS, but down in turn one's the easiest way to make a move. So with the extra speed you get down the straight, so the second straight or the one in sector one isn't really an overtaking opportunity, but you can overtake there, but you have to be within like 3-4 attempts to be able to make a move there.
Yeah,
So
and
you,
I think you have to get more traction out of the corner. You have to have a better exit as well, because
you
I
do
mentioned in
indeed.
qualifying that straight. It's possible, but it's not likely, is it? It's not. You're
No,
not
it's
likely to
not
go through.
likely. Unless you're like breathing down the gearbox, then you got a
Yeah,
chance.
yeah,
But otherwise, as you've seen here, Gasly being 4.5 tenths behind Tim, but couldn't make a move down that straight. So
no,
he will have to wait.
I, I think it's the right place to do it as well. It's not just like the easiest place to overtake. I think it's the safest as well into turn one.
It is, especially if you're trying to overtake into turn three. I've crashed there a few times myself, so turn three with that bit of wall that sticks out can be very
Yeah,
tricky.
obviously Gagli go through. He's retaken the position. I think if these two stay as close as they are, I think they might start playing strategically. So let's say Tim, for example, right
I
now is in
mean,
second. I think he'll stay in. Not now; it's early in the race, but late on. If he's really close in second, I think he'll wait until like the second to last lap to overtake. He'll
yeah,
just
that
stay
is a good
behind.
strategic idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. Gagly and Tim, really, if they want to secure first and second, they really need to work together. I know they're different teams, but if they work together, they'll just pull away from Lewis because he hasn't got any benefit to DRS as it stands.
Yeah,
So he's on his loan. So I know it's only like 14 kilometers an hour down both straights, but that benefit gives you like 6-7 tenths. So
it's a massive. It is actually a massive difference maker. Especially given the length of especially so after the left-hander at the bottom of the hill, or it's not really a hill, but the incline,
yeah,
and then it's a long slight right-hander into a kind of chicane, then the main straight. But all of that basically, you're flat out,
and
and
as we now see Patso overtake Fishy Flopper down into turn three. So a nice move Patso there after his drive through as well, so
Yeah.
found his way back up into P10.
He was, I think he was quite unfortunately disqualified in qualifying as well. So he's moved over and he's stationary just for just a slight moment, just to let someone through, and it's
Yeah.
disqualified him for it. Which I've
Yeah.
seen many a time. It's unfortunate. There's nothing you can do about it. Fishy Flopper,
No.
a bit unlucky as well. A 5-place grid penalty, but up in 11th position at the minute. Still only
Still in the
lap
race.
9. Yeah.
And I mean, if there's safety car, it brings everyone back together. So, seen a couple of VSCs at the moment, but
Fishy
yes.
Flopper's carrying damage here. Front left end plate. Really struggled to get round the left-hander. And has dropped back now
I
8
mean,
tenths.
so he's battling with Pat, and he's also got damage to his right end plate. So they both got different sides of the car damaged.
So Fishy's going to struggle on left-handers, and Patsuzo's going to struggle on the right-handers.
Yes.
Maybe unfortunately for Fishy Flopper, it's an anti-clockwise track, so you're going to have more left-handers
That
than
is correct.
right.
But he's now making the move down into turn
He's
3.
trying.
So Fishy Flopper has made the move down into turn 3 and a great move round that side. So I imagine these two are going to battle for a while.
Yeah. Neither of them seem like they want to pit in early just to, make sure and get the wing change done. So
Yeah.
it will be very close
I'd
between these two.
imagine they're staying out due to the fact of tyre wear around here. Tyre wear's quite high, so
Is it?
boxing, you put yourself at a disadvantage later on. So
Well, I guess they patched it then. I know at the start of the game you could do a 50%
yep.
race on one set of tyres on hards, but
The hards can go for quite a while. Yeah, the hards can do like most tracks. So
we've got a real
as when they're
massive
going three
battle
wide
here.
into turn
Yeah.
one, Matty Lewis
Oh,
and Iris. Oh, I'm not sure if that was contact or what happened there, but
I think
it's
there's a. Whoa! You can. What is Matty doing? He's mental. He's absolutely
going
gone
down into turn 3.
straight
Lewis
across.
then sticks. Oh my god. Mental down into turn 3, and they're still going at it. The
Yeah,
three of
still
them.
3 of them. This is going to end badly in Castle. I've got a feeling.
And now Matty Jones up into P. Lewis and Iris side by side. Lewis into P4. Iris in the Haas now drops down to P5. But
Surely
they're
they're going
still
to
going
have
to squabble.
to. They've got to just put their swords down for a couple of turns here. Don't risk it through Castle. There's barely enough room for one modern day Formula One car. You're not getting 2 through there.
And all this battle they're doing is allowing the top 2 to run away with this. So it's now a 9.5 second gap.
Yeah, I mean
So they've
it
lost
was.
about 2 seconds of fighting with each other.
Yeah, I mean
So
it was only a few, maybe 3 laps ago. It was 5.5. Now it's
that is
9.5.
correct.
It's a huge gap, and Lewis has been dragged into a battle here that he doesn't want.
It's for constructors. If he gets caught in too much of this, it's
Well,
not going to help Aston Martin in the so
Reese goes
yeah,
straight
the
through.
Aston Martin. Carry on.
Now Reese is with a double overtake there has moved up into 3rd position. That's a great move there. Do you think the Astons are your closest rivals in the constructors? When I look at the teams, I think that.
I would say because they generally finish quite high, and Gagley being the
Ooh,
spearhead of the team as well. But
Lewis in the wall.
there's
Front left end plate is off, and yeah, he's going to drop back.
I missed what happened there. Was it contact or was it just?
No, I think he just miscalculated it because they were so close, and he just touched the wall, and it doesn't take a lot, does it? They're
No, it doesn't.
very fragile, these cars. But
And
yeah,
then I prefer, I like this track compared to Monaco. So even though they're quite similar, but Monaco's just yeah.
I kind of despise Monaco. I'm not going to lie. It's not. I wouldn't have it on any race calendar. I hate it. Not just on this game, in real life too. I think it's too antiquated. It's outdated. It doesn't work for big F1 cars.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of it. But on the game particularly, Ace. Oh, that's unfortunate. As both Gagli and Tim are in the pits as well now.
Ace coming in for a wing change as well, so he will not be lapped at this stage,
Yeah, and he's got that 10
but only
seconds.
just. He comes out just ahead of Tim, so he will not be lapped. And now Iris takes the lead of the race. Contrary of Pitts, because Tim is our net race leader, but as it stands,
Yeah, of course. Oh, and Ace has gone straight
perhaps
on there into
does.
the wall.
He did that earlier as well in turn 2,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
done it again, so he's down the escape road.
I think he's good though. He's still going, isn't he? He's not DNF'd, so
He hasn't got damage, so that's also another thing.
he
But
put softs on. I think he might be thinking just come straight back into the pits here. Take my take my 10 seconds.
maybe it's very possible. But it doesn't matter. As long as he finishes, he's going to pick up some points for the Ferrari team. He is the
Absolutely.
only Ferrari left in this race, so.
I'm keeping also a close eye on
Uh,
Pastuzo because he's the Saubers this season, the only team not to score a point yet. We're into race 4, which I'm quite surprised about.
yeah,
But
you
yeah,
would expect him to score points by now, but he's still in this race, so it's a chance of points this race, so it'd be a big improvement.
yeah, I think just getting the finish and getting some points on the board is it'll be a big boost for confidence, won't it?
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
Team's actually
Like,
gaps Gagli here. Gagli's 1.2 behind. And oh, we've got a VSC. I'm assuming that's Ace. Yeah.
it's Ace in the wall at Castle.
No front wing either.
Lost his wing,
Yeah.
so that gives a chance of Iris to box under VSC and shorten the length of time in the pit lane lost. So instead of it
Yeah,
being 20, she loses about 13, 14. So
that's a big shout. That, to be honest, I didn't even consider that. Yeah.
and as Iris leaves the pit lane, DRS is back on, and we are now back under green flag racing. So it was the perfect time for it to go green again.
I think
So
Iris yeah. He's got lucky, of course, with the timing of it, but sometimes you need that, and that's put him in a very nice position in terms
right
of getting
place,
that
right time, as
podium.
they say.
Yeah, absolutely. Gagli's just slightly closing the gap. He's just over a second. So he wants to get within DRS as quickly as possible. He can then
So
save on his
Ice
DRS.
One now on a new set of hearts, only 1.5 seconds behind Lewis. So we could have a battle there as well. As Ace is now in the pit lane, has decided to retire, so has given up for this race.
At least he retired in the pit lane, though. I'm not a fan of people retiring unless they DNF. But if you are going to do it in the pit lane so it doesn't bring out a safety car.
Indeed. But he was
I,
still going to score points, so he should have carried
yeah,
on.
that's my feeling about it. Especially, this league, our point system is slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
so we are rewarding drivers that finish as well. And
I know a few leagues that do it down to P15, so it gives you an incentive to try and finish because you're still going to
yeah,
pick up points, and that could be the difference between you lifting a title and not lifting a title.
oh, Gagli has gone
But how
through
bad one race goes.
down the short DRS there. By the way, that was a nice pass. Yeah, I kind of agree with the down to 15th place because in any league, every league that I've seen, and it's not meant offensively to any of the drivers, but normally there's like 6 or 7 that are always finish in the bottom 6 or 7,
Yeah.
and it gives them a chance to feel good and get some points. And it's like they have their own little mini league within the league, you see, and they're not just picking 0 points up. I like the point system.
No, I can't disagree with that one. Because like even if you're fighting for 15th, you know you're still going to get a point or something. So
Yeah,
that still makes you try and get that because you know you're going to get something and you get rewarded for it. So
I think it makes the streams better as well, because it means people, as you say, are going to be fighting for that position. They want that position,
yeah,
and it keeps everybody going until the end. It's a big motivator.
it does indeed. But we are now down to 12 drivers in this race, so we'll
I'm
see
not.
if all 12 can finish.
I don't think
So
so. I think we'll have at least one more. As
there's very high chance here.
Tim's gone through again on Gagley. These two, as I mentioned before, switching positions, very even with their pace. I think also.
The one thing I can say is Monaco, we probably wouldn't have half of the drivers left.
No. I actually have a strategy at Monaco, and it's probably not allowed in
Drive
every
slow,
league.
don't crash out.
Well, no, it comes from qualifying actually. So I'll wait until there's a clear gap in qualifying. I won't do it when there's other cars around. I'll stop right outside the pit lane and get disqualified. So I know I'm starting from the back of the grid. Okay?
Then you
Then,
can avoid everyone in front of you.
yeah, everybody else makes mistakes.
Yeah.
There's not any time that I've finished, and this is with 15, 18, 20 people, I've never finished lower than 5th at Monaco. And I don't go 100% either. I go about 80% of what I know I can do in the race because,
Yeah.
because it's Monaco. And it always seems to work. It's a bit of a cheeky
Yeah.
tactic, purposefully getting yourself disqualified from qualifying, but it does work.
Yeah. So now looking from down in turn 3. And then it's the switchback of dreams by Brooke
Oh,
Gorilla
oh,
trying
lovely
it
stuff.
on, but
Lovely stuff. Fishy flopper,
fishy
though.
flopper around the outside. What a great move.
Oh, Josh
But
has
with
retired from
Gorilla trying
session.
to, and Josh
Oh,
has crashed on the exit of Castle section, so that's unfortunate for Josh. Coming out of the Castle section, he's binned it, and now at this race, so we're now down to 11, just like Gary said, we're down to
I'm surprised there's no safety car there.
considering where he crashed, you would have thought there would have been a VSC or at least a
At
safety
least,
car.
yeah. Obviously, real
But
life, if he crashes there, it's a red flag. There's no doubt about it. You can't crash at Castle
yeah,
and not have a red flag. I think most potential crash zones here would be a red flag, wouldn't they? Because there's no runoff.
no.
Uh,
Down in Castle is probably the main place for that because anywhere else you can kind of avoid it unless you're in the middle of a corner.
yeah,
But
yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go with that.
so, because if you're down the straight of like the first sector, you're down that straight. There's ways they can get around you. So, because it's still quite wide, but it's not. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
as long as there's not like debris all over the place, yeah, you could probably get away.
Yeah.
You bring a safety car out just so that they know, they go safely around there. But they could have,
Yeah.
yeah, not necessarily a red flag. I've been really impressed with Ice One tonight. He's showing really good pace. He's in 6th position here in the Mercedes.
And as now Gagley goes for the move on Tim down into turn 1. So this is for the lead of the race, and Gagley makes it easy work down into turn 1. Now takes the fast lap of the race with a 141.751. So has now secured that fastest lap for the moment.
The
But
fastest man on track, yeah, absolutely.
but on Ice One, he has improved massively last season. He is one to watch for because I've battled him a few times, and he's improved massively. So I mean, big props to him for that.
I was in a league with Ice One, and we were teammates actually, and he won the title in that league, and we won the constructors as well. I finished third in that particular championship, and he was such a fantastic teammate to have.
Yeah.
He's really good. So there were certain tracks that I were faster than him, and he wouldn't hold me up at all. He'd let me through, and I'd return the favour. For example, at Spa, we had a safety car, and the restart, he was first, I was second, but I knew he was a lot faster than me, and so I basically held up the rest of the pack as much as I could on the restart, so he could get a big lead, and I think that's important. I think having a good teammate can be very important. You're lucky. I mean, you've got Tim as your teammate. I mean, he's going to pick up.
I mean, it is nice having
Tim
Tim as a teammate, but I mean, also it can be a little bit. It depends how you work together. I mean, if you're not working together, then are you really? Do you know what I mean? Like, you should be working together to give each other the best result possible. So, I mean, I've had it a few times where I've let Tim through because I know he's quicker than me at a track, for example, because we've been teammates before. So you know he's quicker than you. No point holding teammate up, just let him through.
Yeah,
If you can stick with him and you know you're roughly about the same pace, then yeah, you could look to work together, you know. But if he's that much faster, generally you need to do it for the championship if you're looking to try and win that. So
yeah, and if your teammate is that much faster than you, you're going to want to let him through anyway, and maybe you get a tow for a lap or two.
Yeah.
Which
But
will
then, if that is
improve
the
your
case as
standing.
well, you can also have your team help you to learn as well, so that way you can be quicker. So maybe he has a few tips that I can give you
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
benefit you, help you out, because you are a team in the end of the day, and that's what teammates are for. Work together, you use each other, and you can learn something from them as well. I understand not all teams are like that.
No,
That's generally what.
I think it's something actually. You say work together and maybe learn from each other.
Mhm.
I think that's something that some people, not just here at NOMEX, in all leagues, I don't think people consider it like that. I think that's a really wholesome and correct way of looking at it.
Forward.
In terms of
I
your team, and
mean,
Gagley's
even
going through
some
there.
people in here, even like Ace in here, and if I'm there, I always try and help out as much as I can to see if I can help them improve. You know, I always do it because it's not just about me; it's about everybody else as well. You want the competitive racing, you want it to be thrilling. So when you race, you're having battles with more than just maybe a couple of people. You've got like the whole grid with you. You know, you want that 'cause you feel like you've earned it.
I think as well,
Like last
uh,
a bit like last week when I got that win, fighting hard at the end. Like
yeah,
you've worked your socks off, and because everyone's close, it feels better
it's
instead of
so
being 20 seconds
satisfying
up the
for you.
road.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. I also think, like, so obviously when it's race time, very competitive, of course. But outside of the race during the week, you can attest to this as much, maybe even more than me, because I don't actually race for a team.
Yeah.
I'm purely as a commentator, but I have raced competitively a long time. I
Mm.
think during the week we are actually friends. It's not like we're not friends because we're not in the same team or whatever, is it? We're actually
No.
good friends, and I want to see my friends having, even if I'm quicker than them or slower than them or whatever. I just want to see my friends have fun with it. You
I'm
know,
exactly the same. Like Josh and Ace, I want them up there with me. If I'm up there, I want them up there with me because it makes it more fun. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
so I've always seen it that way, but I mean, everyone's different. So, but our only battle on track is Gagley and Tim at the moment, so no one else within DRS range. But a minute ago, Matty Jones did set the fastest lap of a 41.595 as he did another pit stop due to suffering wing damage.
I think that'll be a tough one to beat, and he might even go faster, as his tyres are fully warmed up and he's got full grip. I think he might take the fast lap. No bonus points in this league for fast lap, but it's kind of a bragging rights thing, isn't it? It's pride. I got the fast lap, so
you do get a point for fastest lap, I do believe.
I thought we were going to change that. That's what. So I'm not sure.
I could be wrong, but I'm sure I got fastest lap the other week, and
you got the extra.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
But Tim and Gagley are only 2 tenths off the fastest lap on hard, so it's possible.
Whoa! Full safety car. That is a full. It's not a VSC. That is a full safety car. For those that don't know, if you look on the map, you can see. Yeah, you can see the yellow dot. That is the safety car. So this is going to make for an interesting end to the race, isn't it? I assume these two are going to pit in. Look how far.
So F1 Immortal has crashed, where Ace has been struggling through turn 2, and Immortal has been difficult through turn 2. So a lot of drivers struggling in that particular corner.
The leaders have come in.
That has brought out the safety car.
The leaders have come in. Tim and Gagley have come in.
I expect everyone to come in. I expect everybody to box at this point in the race.
Reese is in.
Well.
Yeah, there's no point not boxing at this point. You're just giving yourself a disadvantage, I think. But well, we'll see. We'll see what people do.
I mean, I know it's not the easiest track to overtake here. Not one of the easiest, but you want to be on the freshest rubber, so that way, if you stay on, let's say, like you used hards or used mediums, people on the softs are just going to overtake you really easy.
Oh, they're going to do you on the restart. Absolutely,
so
100%.
You need to make that box. So, but anyone's got a chance to win this race still, so there'll be roughly three, maybe 2 laps of racing, depending on how quickly you join safety car. But
What tyres would you go on at this point? If you've got a fresh set of softs, yeah. But if you haven't got a fresh set, if you've not got a fresh set, obviously you save a set from qualifying, so you've got a fresh set. But let's just say, for argument's sake, you don't have a fresh set of softs. Do you take a used soft or do you take a fresh medium? It's difficult, that one, isn't it?
Depends how worn the softs are. If you've only done 1 lap in quali, I'll take the softs.
Take the softs.
But if you've done like 2 or 3 laps on them, then I'll take the mediums, because otherwise you're giving yourself like 10% tyre wear to come out on. So
yeah,
there's a thing to factor in.
With the way the softs drop off as well, that would
yeah,
it wouldn't be good, would it? Because I mean, I guess these
like
guys
4 laps.
Yeah, these guys on the softs now under the safety car, they're gonna, by the time the safety car's gone, they're gonna have what 10-12% wear already, maybe more. Depending on how long
safety car, you might be about 5% maximum, because on safety car you're going so slow that tyre wear doesn't really, you don't really get much tyre at all. So
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But I'm just thinking, because it's literally the soft tyre, you know, it's
well, especially around this track, the soft tyre is not good for very long. So it's a bit like Singapore, lasts about 4 or 5 laps, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah, then they're just they're gone then, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Singapore's a good example, actually. That's a perfect example. You do 5 laps on the softs, and then you're just sliding everywhere. Like, you're absolutely all over the place. And that's a dangerous track to be doing that on.
Indeed.
Like, the left-hander after the bridge, if you can't get proper traction, braking, you're in the wall. You've got to be really careful with your tyres there.
And on the safety car, Pat Zuzo has got another drive-through. So that's his second drive-through he's picked up on flag conditions.
He's been very reckless under the yellows today, hasn't he?
Maybe pushing a little bit too hard.
Yeah, possibly.
And, I mean, it's easily done. I've done it before, you know.
Oh, I mean, I've been there, done that.
You need to be gone.
I was going to say, I was just going to say that I'm not criticising him. I've done it. You said you've done it. I'm sure
Hmm.
we've all done it
Yeah.
as competitive racers. We've all been there, but yeah, it's, you just got to keep your eye out on the delta. You've got to be careful with it, really careful.
I don't know if he's boxing because he's got wing damage or if he thinks he can do his drive through on the safety car. I'm not sure, but
That is a
not
mistake
sure
I've
why
seen
he's boxed
people
there.
make. Yeah, is it? I think I made that mistake when I first started racing. To be honest,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
I,
safety drive throughs can only be served under green flags conditions.
uh-huh. Otherwise, it's not a real drive-through, is it? Because everyone's going slower. I understand,
Yes.
but at the time, I can remember that at the time, and I didn't know. I was like, oh, I've got a drive-through. I'll just take it now. And I come out of the pits,
Yeah.
like, oh, I've still got my
It's
drive-through.
because
That
you'd
was a
be gaining an advantage for speeding and then getting it off onto the safety car.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Imagine you were allowed to serve a drive-through under safety car conditions. If you got a drive-through at
You wouldn't
Britain,
ever worry about speeding.
well, no, yeah, yeah, of course,
So
because you'd lose time. Of course, you'd lose time because you're having to go in the pits. But because the safety car's out, you wouldn't lose much, and you'd get to the back of the pack anyway. So
yeah,
it's understandable, and especially as I say, someone like somewhere like Britain, you get a drive through there, and you could take it with a safety car out. Like you're going to be
yeah,
gaining so much time compared to taking a drive through under green flag
yeah,
conditions.
indeed, because it cuts 3 or 4 corners, so you come out in the middle of turn two, especially down there.
Yeah,
So you'd be gaining quite a lot. So it's a good thing they don't allow you to serve it on the safety car, but he will have to serve that. Well, technically, he doesn't have to serve it if the safety car comes in next lap because he can cross the line and get a 20-second time penalty for not taking his drive through.
yeah.
If there's not enough
Also,
laps left to serve it uh, within 3 laps, then you'll get a time penalty in the race just by completing, so you don't actually have to serve it. That
yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah.
sense.
It all depends when this safety car comes in, for sure.
Yes.
Everybody boxed up now, apart from obviously Pastuzo, who will be, he'll be at the back of the pack very soon.
Mhm.
I've got a bit of a saying, and it's cliched, but it's kind of true. Safety cars tend to make more safety cars because on the restart, everyone's so close and jockeying for position. So we'll have to see what happens on the restart here. Massively
But
important.
we will be guaranteed no more safety cars.
Oh yeah, because of the lap that it is, but
Yes.
that doesn't guarantee that
But
there might still be an incident on the restart. That's basically like where I'm coming from. Because everyone's
yep.
bunched up and you want to get the best restart possible, of course, and you don't want to be caught out by the guy in front of you pulling away or the guy behind you catching you.
Yep.
It does tend to lead to more incidents in my experience.
Generally it does, yes. I have to agree with that one. But safety car is in this lap, so we will have 3 laps of green racing to go. So
We're
we'll
gonna
have to see
get
how Tim does this restart.
we're gonna get 2 laps of DRS as well, which could be massively important. So we're gonna have lap 25 and 26 with DRS. It is a sprint, but that DRS might help a couple of people finish a bit higher than they previously anticipated before this safety car came out.
Anyone within the top 9 can win this race. Even Fisher
Absolutely.
Copper could still win this, even
Yeah,
with that 3 second time
even with the
penalty.
3 seconds. If he gets this right, it's unlikely that he will with the 3 seconds, but he could. At
Yes,
least, at
it's very
least
possible.
on track, he could do it.
Yes.
What's
So we'll see
your
how Tim.
what's your strategy for safety car restarts? Do you like to go as early as possible, or do you
It
like to
depends on
wait?
the track. Depends on the track. So for this one, you want to keep it to the line, just stop the slipstream as much as possible, and someone getting the big run on you. So
Yes.
unless you can really catch them out and go early, which is unlikely because of the slipstream, you want to go as late as possible for this track.
See there, This is also why I wanted to get you in. It's been a good minute since I've raced competitively. I know all these things, but it's nice to get somebody in that's actually currently racing and is one of the top guys in the league, just to answer some of these questions that I get asked as well. That
Yeah.
and it's nice, a current driver. I'm like Martin Brundle now. I'm retired from
Past
racing.
it.
Um,
You're
so,
past it.
yeah. I'm too old. I mean, I was 40 this year. I think my competitive racing day's over. I'm not Alonso. I won't be
I
going until I'm
mean, I was
45.
racing with someone a couple of years ago who was 60 and was still racing.
I,
So
I just stopped.
I guess age
Truthfully,
isn't really a limit, but
no, of course, because there's not the same physical demands as if you were in a real car, obviously. But I kind of fell out of love with racing, and I started doing commentary, and then I fell back in love with racing on not actual Formula One. I've always loved it. I'm
and
about like
got to
iRacing.
move further back. So Patso has overtaken Shadow Perp, so has now moved himself up to the P9. Does have that drive through, but
I'm
it's
just
now up into P9.
I'm currently looking at Matty here, who's looking to try and make a move on Ice One for fifth position. Just can't quite get through. Obviously, DRS enabled now. He's got 2 laps of DRS. Although, would you say technically he's only got 1? And I think Patso's in the wall. Yes, he is. He's got damage, but he's still going. And that's the main thing. As Matty actually has gone through now on Ice One. Fishy Flop has moved up a position too, into 7th. So lots of close racing. Look at the front 4. You could throw
You've got the top 4 here.
you could throw a tea towel
Nothing at
over
all.
those.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we could see any 4 of these win this, or all 4 of them exit the race. They're so close. I'm not saying they
Yeah.
will, but you never know.
If they get on lap 26 and they start going 4 wide, that could end in tears and Matty wins the race. That is
I
genuinely, that
mean,
could happen.
we saw Reese going 3 wide with Lewis and Fishy Flopper, I believe it was earlier. So,
Yeah.
you know, it could happen again. But Tim will lead us through on to the final lap, unless Gagley overtakes down the straight, which I'd imagine, if the
I
DRS he
think he,
will,
I
take the
think
lead
he's
in
got
this
to
race.
try. I think he has to try. Because obviously that DRS isn't going to help on the 26th lap because you're only getting partially boosted by it. And actually, it's Reese that's going through here. I think Reese is going for first position. Yes! Reese is up into first. Incredible. Gagley's still in third. Reese with another double overtake. That is insane.
Having the most battery down the straight, Reese has taken the lead of this race, making a lovely double overtake into turn 1. And as now Tim and Gagley fight. Oh, and that was close there, but they managed to keep it clean. As now Tim goes for another move down the inside of Gagley, and there's contact.
I think it was only just a kiss, though. I think they're all right. But what they're doing here is they're giving more advantage to Reese. He's just chilling. I know he's at the front and it's close, but they're going to be slowing each other down. Lewis can't quite get close enough to make a move. Oh, and look at that big snap oversteer there from
As
Tim.
Tim loses traction.
Yeah. Oh,
and then Lewis goes in the background.
Jeez, how's he kept that pointing the right way? Someone needs to tell Lewis this isn't rally. This is Formula One. Here we go then. I think Reese has got this in the bag. I honestly do. I don't think.
I think this could be Gagley's down the straight, unless he's got more ERS. But Reese does slightly have more ERS, but
he might have the slipstream. It's going to be close.
He will get a tiny bit of DRS as well, Gagley. So he will be looking to make this stick. It's 3.5, 2.5 tenths.
Oh my word!
I don't think it's going to be just enough, and I think Reese is going to take this.
Oh, it's going to be really. Oh, I don't know. He's going to go. Less than a tenth. My word! What a finish! And Reese took it.
Less than a tenth. Wow, Reese takes the win on track.
I think if that start finish line is another 20 meters down the road, Gagley takes that.
Indeed. If the DRS was where it was last year, he
Yep,
takes it.
he takes it. But credit where it's due. Absolutely full credit there to Reese on that race win. A deserved race win. And I don't know if you noticed in qualifying, he started from second to last on the grid. That is
Yes, I did.
that is a massive, massive race, and a deserved race win. We got Gagley in second, and in third position, of course, we got Tim. And there we go. Of course, he's driver of the day as well. I think that's the most obvious driver of the day I've ever seen. But what a race! Great stuff. Azerbaijan never fails to deliver, does it? There's always incidents and action. It's just, I'm genuinely. It's a shame that you had that incident. I know you were saying
There's
earlier.
always drama at Azerbaijan.
Yeah, it's made for it, isn't it?
It is.
There they go, celebrating. No, don't drink and drive, kids. Not like these guys. Let's get the actual standings. Reese got the fast lap as well, a 140.9. Very, very close between, less than a second between the front three. Well, less than 7/10. That's incredible. And Matty getting fit. Lewis in fourth. Good for the Aston Martins too. That it's actually been a good week for the Aston Martins, hasn't it? I
Has
think
been.
they're gonna close the gap slightly this week. Ice won with sixth, eighth in qualifying, and sixth in the race. Really good. Fishy Flopper started 14th, finishes 7th, and Shadow in the Alpine getting some points there as well. Of course, as always, I mean, it always delivers, doesn't it? I don't think we've had a race that's not been like top class. It's always.
So I do believe if results stand, we will have a new championship leader. And it will be Gagley.
It will be Gagley. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure. No, they must do. I think the Aston Martins will be in first place in the constructors too.
It's very possible, yeah. Because obviously I didn't score anything, so
Yeah, I think they're only 14 points behind or something. It's very close.
9 points.
Yeah, they'll be.
So they will
in the
take the
lead.
championship lead as well. So it's going to
We've
be a
got
fight all season long, I think.
we've got Reese in the chat saying it's too easy. I can't lie. Nice to see that confidence post race. Last to first challenge. It's, before I go and before I do my outro and stuff, I just want to thank you for coming in. It's been a pleasure having you. It is something
No,
I've been
you're more than
looking to
welcome.
do, and it just happened. Very unlucky, bad luck for you that that you DNF'd. But I thought I'd try and get a guest in occasionally and see their perspective on things. You see things slightly different to me, and as I say, it's been
Yeah.
an absolute pleasure having you. You're welcome anytime.
No, you're more than welcome, mate. Well, hopefully I won't be
Yeah,
back. Because hopefully I
but
won't
don't come back
DNF.
too soon. Yeah. Don't come back too
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. I don't want to be back here if I can help it.
But yeah, thank you for everybody that watches, that's watched live, and that will watch after the fact. I know a lot of people watch after the race, and it's been a pleasure being here for you all. And we'll see you next week. Do you know the race next week? I couldn't tell you offhand without looking.
I can tell you 2
Is it
seconds. We are on
UAE?
our way to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, that's it. Yeah.
And it's a sprint as well.
Well, there we go. Double qualifying, sprint special. Looking forward to that. Abu Dhabi. What do you before we go? What do you think of Abu Dhabi? Is it a track you like? Is it
I prefer the new layout to the old layout. So
same?
when they used to have that chicane, instead
Mhm.
of the long left sweeping round turn, they used to have a chicane. I used to hate it. But now it's not so bad. So
Yeah, I
it's not
prefer it
one
now.
of my strongest tracks though. So we'll have to see what happens next week.
Well, there you go. You heard it from the man himself. Now not the championship leader, unfortunately to say. Uh, as I say, this is King Panda. It's been a pleasure to have you in here. I'm Gary Laser Eyes, and I'll see you next week. And thank you for watching. Thank you to Ace and all the admins at NOMEX for giving me the opportunity to commentate on this phenomenal league. And yeah, see you next weekend.